What's better, clipping or using a magnet?
You can magnet it.
Yeah, you can use a magnet.
Where are you going to put it at?
Don't know.
Oh, like that.
Yeah.
Mine was just getting stuck to this book.
Is that going to be like... Oh, no, that should be alright. Do you have us in your ear, mate? When you're going? No, you don't? No, it's alright. Should we just assume that it's okay?
Sometimes I check it.
Oh, okay, fair enough, yeah. Cool. Tuck those in because they're going to get in the way.
Hello and welcome to round 3 of the BTR Excavations Division 1 football here on Filming Footy. Today we have a great game between Payneham Norwood Union and St Peter's Old Scholars. My name is Jad Goss. I'm here with
Louis McKenna.
Well, welcome Louis. First game of footy for you, Coling, this year. How excited are you to be back?
Yeah, it's exciting. Obviously, it's a great league that we have here, Div 1 Adelaide Footy League, and a couple of teams that had some close games to start the season as well. It's been an inconsistent start to the season, obviously, with a big break between round 1 and 2, but both teams back into the swing of things here this afternoon.
Yeah, great call there. Yeah, last week was round 2. Felt like a bit of a round 1, you know, a bit of rustiness, only one game a few weeks earlier. Now we're proper into the season, playing week by week footy, and yeah, Payneham Norwood Union will start off with them, the home team. A bit of a rough start for them, 0-2 so far, sitting 9th on the ladder, losing to both the promoted teams, Salisbury North and Ross Trevor, but we know how good they were, we know the quality. They're getting some players back slowly. Matty Nunn was back last week and back in the best like he usually is, so a few players there, and Payneham, they're going to be keen to come here and put on a good show in front of the home crowd.
Absolutely, and talk about the game, the players for both of these sides, both Payneham Norwood Union and St Peter's here this afternoon, that have players with plenty of SANFL experience. Of course, Payneham Norwood Union, unsurprisingly, having a lot of players with experience with Norwood Redlegs in the SANFL, and you spoke about him right there, Matty Nunn being one of those, Mackenzie Bauer. Brad McKenzie has 137 games of SANFL and VFL experience at the top level there, so they've got a lot of talent. They just need to find the momentum to try to gel together here. It's a long season, only 2 games in, and they've been fairly close in their games. They lost to Ross Trevor by 11 in round 1. It was about a month ago now, and Salisbury North by about 4 goals as well. So they come up against a side, though, that's got a little bit more momentum, won versus Golden Grove by a single goal last week.
Yeah, well said. Yeah, Payneham, we'll see how they go. We'll see how their new players are gelling. They've had a lot of movement in the off-season. Just to go through some of them already, Blake Dodson was their third most best players last year in terms of play HQ. Hodges, their second top goal scorer left. Campbell, Alderman, Jed Spence. If I have to pick one player from the Adelaide Footy League last year that I think could make it an AFL level, I love Jed Spence, so he left. But some good ins as well. We'll get into them as the game progresses. As for St Peter's, as you mentioned, 1-1 so far to start the season, beating Golden Grove last week, losing to Port District by 3, which is also a very good effort, given Port District, of course, last year's premiers. They're going to come here as well with a lot of confidence. We just saw their B grade team beat the Payneham Norwood Union B grade 70-23, so they've got a lot of depth on their team, a lot of competition for places, and yeah, we'll see those familiar players come in and kick plenty of goals. Look out for the captain, look out for McGill, as well as Ed Allen, the captain. There's some key players always performing consistently.
Absolutely, and speak a lot about the sides here and how they're going to kind of present against each other, both these teams. In the whole league, really, you look across the results, all across the board, close contests everywhere you look, Jad, and I think these two teams will go at it hard today. Ultimately, I think St Peter's off to a really good, a fairly good start coming off the win, and perfect weather for footy, mind you, as well. It's a fairly warm day. It's currently 24 degrees here at Payneham Oval, and top of 25 degrees. I think fitness is going to be crucial for both of these sides to get through on what is a fairly unusually warm kind of, early May day. Yeah,
for sure. Quickly looking at last season, they played each other twice. In round 13, Payneham winning that one by 32 points away, and round 4 as well, Payneham getting the better of them, but this time only by the 11 points. So yeah, definitely 2 really solid teams here in Adelaide Footy League. We'll quickly run through all the sponsors. Thank you to them for being a part of it and the reason we are here today. Filming Footy, Sports Interactive, Classic Flashes, Custom by ORTC, High Five E-Bikes, Dartfish, Archie's, Kimberley Resorts, and Jag Meatworks, which is my responsibility to get the goal of the day, gets a kilo of sausages thanks to Jag Meatworks. So if you guys on the stream see a nice goal, make sure you get invited to their barbecue, because they're going to be having a barbecue with their kilo of meat.
Absolutely, yeah, that's a fantastic prize. And you were just telling me as well that the best player of the season as well, winning an e-bike. So how's that for a prize, an extra incentive to play well this season and obviously play well this afternoon?
100%. As we see the players getting into their positions, getting sorted, they had their final chats. As we see them all get ready for the first bounce. Perfect day of footy, as you mentioned. A little bit of a breeze, but it's not going to any particular direction, just a bit of swirling around. But the weather is perfect, not a single cloud in the sky. It's going to be a clear day of football here in the Adelaide Footy League, thanks to BTI activations. As the umpire puts the ball in the air, the siren sounds, and away we go. Throws it up. Decides against bouncing it. Nicely done there by the ruckman, tapping it down. As Payneham look to get the first clearance. He gets wrapped up. Now the clearance comes. Touched off the boot, play on. Nicely collected. Gives it, don't argue. Handballs it over the top. And big tackle to start the game. A big tackle just to set the scene, set the standard for how they're going to be playing St. Peter's. They do well to get the ball from that situation. And now trying to find Stuart Rattray. And now a big tackle comes. It's going to be the umpire's ball.
Yeah, tough type. First 30 seconds here at Payneham Oval. Umpire up in the air on the near wing. Tough contest inside as about 5 players converge on the ball, and the umpire says, give it to me. I'm going to ball it up once again. Both midfields just crunching in. Kelly in the ruck trying to get the reach over. Can't get it to go. Ball now in dispute on the ground. Players just crashing into the contest as St. Peter's is trying to get the clearance, smothered inside. Rahui inside gets tackled to the ground, and the umpire is going to pick it up for the 3rd time. So both midfields as expected, crashing into the pack. Ruckman going at it once again. Kelly gets the tap down this time and inside the centre circle. St. Peter's with the clearance outside, but fumble ball once again picked up by Payneham Norwood Union. Contest for the ball. Cries for holding the ball and maybe a little stiff there not to be paid. Ball still in dispute here on the near wing, and the umpire's going to take it once again.
See Samuel Morris there getting involved with the white glove. Easy to spot him out there, number 6. Tapped down by Stuart Rattray. And now the handball goes forward. It's going to be an inside 50. Looking for Bedford. Greatly done there. Perfect kick inside forward 50. Playing in front of the defender is always handy. It's going to be St. Peter's with the first shot at goal.
That was Malachi Carruthers there, number 12 for St. Peter's, going inside forward 50. It was a fantastic kick, Jad.
Yeah, and Stuart Rattray to Malachi Carruthers, those two are permanently playing for St. Peter's this year. Last season, they were involved with some SNFL clubs. That's how good they are. Now, comes in Bedford to the left. I think the wind just takes a little bit. That's the away coming to an away ground, not knowing exactly how the wind works, but it's going to be just behind for St. Peter's. And yeah, Stuart Rattray, Malachi Carruthers, some of their better players. With the St. Peter's full time, it's going to be a big boost for them. You saw them getting involved in that last contest. And it's going to be 0 plays, just one behind to the away team, thanks to the Kieran Hayek's scoreboard. Nearly 3 minutes played here this afternoon at Payneham Oval. And again, looking for the inside 50. Nice handball over the top. Can he get control of it? Just can't get it before the pressure comes. And now Payneham look to rebound from there. Looking for a mark on the wing. Just falls in front of him, but does well to collect it. Chris Darnsig. And now the kick forward. Nicely done by Bauer. Collects it nicely. Sees something he likes. Has to go long over the top. A bit of a foot race now as they look to finish. Tom Wagner, the captain, does well to centre with a handball, but again, just to the feet of his teammate. And because of that, St. Peter's are able to clear it out of danger. Thought they marked it, play on, said the umpire, so now they're going to have to do some work to get out of this situation. Again, Bedford getting involved. Long kick down the line and cut off there nicely by the Payneham defender.
So Payneham able to get a little bit more uncontested ball as this game moves on a little bit further. Moving the ball on the outer side. Decides to take a little 40-metre kick up the wing to a contest, and contested there as a whistle's been blown. And a free kick's been given here to St. Peter's. So Newman decides to take off the 45 and go inboard. Be interesting to see how Payneham defend the corridor and move St. Peter's to the outer side. A little chip ball across. Inside finds Nelligan. They do go inside now to that corridor, so St. Peter's on the move, going inside forward 50. A high ball to the top of the goal square. It's going to go close. It's going to go through. Hung it up in the breeze and got it to go through. St. Peter's on the board first.
Malachi Carruthers, number 12.
Yeah, it was a fantastic goal there as his teammates get around him. So Carruthers gets the first goal of the game and obviously a contender for goal of the day.
Correct, yeah, was just going to say that. Jag Meatwork, snag of the day. Could definitely,
snag of the day.
Yeah, snag of the day. Could definitely be a contender. We'll definitely write that one down. It's still early in this one, but great goal there by Malachi Carruthers. Just talking about how good he is, the quality he has, and great finish.
So back in the middle. Umpire to go to work. Throws it up. Two ruckmen go at it. Tapped down by Kelly inside and Payneham get to work. Little handball over the top. Finds Kelly in a little bit of trouble, but he's good enough to get the handball away and go inside forward 50. A little too good there for Mackenzie Bauer. Goes bouncing behind him as a tackle to the ground there, right in the far pocket. Close to the boundary. They come back into the inside. Players diving at the ball. Rahui snaps around the body. Ball now in dispute, but St. Peter's good enough to recover and rebound outside. Out to the outer side of the ground now is a fantastic spoil as it goes out of bounds and the umpire to bring it back in.
The ball on the outer wing, opposite to here where we are on the grandstand, but you can see still some fans out there enjoying the weather, enjoying a great game of footy so far. Ball back in play. Tapped down by the ruckman, gets clearance away Payneham towards the 50-metre line. Pressure's coming now to get the inside 50. SPOC do well just to get a clearance. They're trying to get it out of the danger zone. They do well, and again, just a bit of a stoppage situation now on the far wing. It's going to be ball up, I think.
Looks like it just went over the line there, Jad. So ball in.
Just over the line, correct. So now it's going to be similar to where it was earlier, just bringing the ball inbound. The two ruck goes at it. It's going to be St. Peter's getting the clearance again, but Payneham have done well to clean it up. But the pressure's on now. Great tackle, holding the ball as well. Had an opportunity to get rid of it, spun him around a few times.
Oh, that'll be 25.
An extra 25, correct.
That was lazy there by Payneham. That's a coach killer.
Yeah.
Had an opportunity to put it right back in his lap there, Jad, and was just a little too silly with it.
Exactly. Not too many complaints from the crowd here at Payneham. They knew that one was probably not the right thing to do, and because of that, instead of a inside 50 kick, they're going to decide to have a shot at goal, it seems.
Yeah, Harvey George lining this one up, Jad.
Harvey George is going to have to kick it from about 50. He looks confident, never really looked inbound. The kick comes in now. Does well. The sail in, but it just to the left of the post, unfortunately for him, but good effort there. 1-2-8 to the away team. It's yet to score the home team, Payneham. It's going to be a tight contest early, 7.5 minutes played. Payneham now back towards the wing, looking for a big mark. There it is. Nicely taken. Playing in front, jumping early. This is where they've struggled early, and it seems to be another sore spot for them. Just can't progress it from here. They do well to make it towards the wing. Just has to go long down the line. They've got players there. Should have probably taken the mark there, St. Peter's. Bit of an uncontested situation. He gets wrapped up. A stoppage just outside the 50.
So about 55 metres out from the Payneham goal. Yet to score. Umpire balls it up and the Rucks go at it once again. Hovering near the boundary here, it's going to roll out to the boundary line. A little too good. In fact, Payneham good enough to be able to keep it in, and they do kick it out on the full now. So again, about 60 metres around from St. Peter's goal, Payneham will get the opportunity. In fact, St. Peter's will get the opportunity to move the ball back towards their forward line. So right from here, Jad, they've been trying to find the corridor. Payneham have been trying to deny him, but they go long up the line instead. Contest forms right in the centre wing, but they're good enough to get through. Moving the ball by hand. They go forward, but intercepted by Payneham, trying to gain a little bit of distance there on that kick, but it was just a nothing kick to contest, and St. Peter's now through the middle of the ground as they like. Moving the ball out now, and he's got a little bit of room to move here and go inside forward 50. A little chip kick inside, falls a bit short and has to pick it up, but it was good pick up down low. Gets tackled to the ground. A little bit of a slinging action there, and umpire comes and says, in fact, that's going to be given a yellow card there. So is, of course, going to be awarded the free kick, and a yellow card handed out for that slinging action. And Nick Michaels to line this one up. He's had 5 goals so far this season.
Yeah, hit his head on the ground a bit too rough with that tackle. Luckily enough, he's okay to get up and take the free kick. But yeah, Michael's a very good goal scorer for them, of course, over the years.
So 5 goals this season. He's probably going to have to kick this from the Payneham 50, about a 30-degree angle, 35-degree angle. Rolling in now, kicks it from 48. Looks fairly online most of the way, but just fades right for a minor score. So 1-3-9 for St. Peter's, and yet to score Payneham Northern Union for the Kieran scoreboard as Payneham take it away.
Yeah, it's they haven't scored yet, Payneham, but still 3 behinds to St. Peter's. They might come back to bite them, missing a few chances early. They have plenty of inside 50s, but only the 1 goal so far. Payneham, though, do well now to bring it up the wing. Does well with the selling the candy. Just faked it, got rid of opponent like that, and now they can go forward through Scott Bedford. Sorry, 21, Sanzo, and now they're forward. And now St. Peter's can get it out of there towards the other Bedford.
It's a good amble.
Towards Michaels, just had the shot earlier. This time he's the one trying to get the assist. Just inside 50, can't take the mark, but the pressure's still on the Payneham defence. Finds a loose player a little bit further back from this contest, and they do well to clean it up. And another nicely taken mark by Hewson. She's been good early as they look for the switch. Go down the opposite wing now. Looking for a mark, but it was a bit of a one-on-one contest. Goes out for a boundary throw-in on the far wing. 11 minutes gone on the Kieran Hayaketsu scoreboard. As we look to bring it back in, we've had a few boundary throw-ins from this position. The 2 rocks going at it. Now the midfield gets to work and wrapped up immediately for an umpire to ball it up.
So it just seems at the moment St. Peter's are more willing to take on the contest, get through the middle of the ground, take it on. Just need to convert inside forward 50 and build on their lead, but defending extremely well. Payneham only have about 2 or 3 inside 50s for no result. St. Peter's already with the 4 scores on the ball for 1-3-9. Ball in dispute here on the outer side with the umpire balling it up. Gets tapped down. Going to work inside is Payneham. Kelly gets the quick hands out. Gets socketed along the ground. Once again in dispute. About 10 players around this ball. And St. Peter's get the clearance out, but it's a hospital ball. Only goes about 30 metres. 30 metres up, 30 metres down. Comes back, a little chip kick through is good, and that was coming from the foot of Matt Nye. Tries to cut off the corridor there, Payneham, and it gets intercepted. St. Peter's look to move it quickly. Johnny Reid going inside forward 50 now. Goes to about 20 metres out, ball now in dispute. Kick inside to the corridor to a dangerous position, and a good mark going back. In fact, that bounce, so play on. And Payneham looking to recover here through uncontested ball. Little chip kick out wide is good. So Matt Nye moves it along. Sanzo. And now moving the ball with a little bit of direction and caress at the moment, the Payneham Norwood Union side. Hewson. A nice little chip kick there. Crawford Sanderson. Now, is this where they try and bite off the corridor here, Jad? Wagner.
They're trying it.
They're trying it here, and it's a good mark taken. Morris has the white glove, and he's good enough to hold on. Now he's deciding, do I go out, do I go in? Bites off the 50-metre kick, down the line, climbs over the pack, but can't get it to go, and St. Peter's take it away.
Bit of a risky kick, that one. They turn it over. Bedford. He does well, like usual. Finds Bone. And now to Nelligan. Kicks it nicely over the top. Oh, another big contest. Similar spot to the last one. He's all right, though. Play on, said the ump, and both players get up nicely. a few more off tackles. The umpire, how's he going to see just a high tackle go on the way of Payneham?
Disazare there coming in hot. He got knocked himself about 10 metres off the play, come back and just put his body through. Absolutely ironed him out, Jad.
Yeah, slow to get up after that contest. Looks like he's going to have to come off, bit of a head knock maybe. Plus a blood rule for the St. Peter's player. So yeah, Disazare, as you mentioned, both of the players involved in that contest having to come off. One bit sore, the other one with a bit of bleeding. So we're going to have to restart through two different players.
So it was Sparkle as well coming off. Really got ironed out.
Yeah.
I think he drew a shoulder to the chin there, Jad.
Good courage there, put his body on the line. Now Payneham look to do the switch, going backwards to go forwards. Nearly the 25 there, but the umpire decided he actually tried to play on, so play on, he says, and now they're going to try and use the other wing. They've been going down both sides, trying to look for a way forward. None of them really work so far, Payneham. He's wrapped up now, could be holding the ball, not quite, the umpire said, didn't have it long enough, he's going to bowl it up, but Payneham just a bit too slow on the wings, can't quite progress it as cleanly or as fast as they would like. They get wrapped up and they get the turnover now because of the stoppage. St. Peter's now looking for the mark, just on the edge of the 50. Again, backwards handball to go forwards, now the kick forward. Can they find a mark? Shakes off his opponent up there, just couldn't take it. Payneham do well, just have the composure, but he messes up the bounce. And now St. Peter's have players involved. They have a chance to shoot. He has a shot, he gets the goal. Jesse McKinnon there with a great finish, but it all came from that mess up of a bounce, unfortunately.
Well, it was Carruthers again with the assist, so that's his second goal assist already in this one. Jad got the quick hands out of the contest and, yeah, into the lap there of McKinnon. So good work there by St. Peter's to get it done.
Yeah, good spot, and they just couldn't find a way forward on the wing, causes the stoppage. From that stoppage, they lose out. They had the numbers back there, but just fumbly a little bit, and as soon as they didn't quite make the most of it, quite clear from the danger zone, Carruthers jumped on it and with his quick hands found McKinnon. It's going to be 0 plays, 2 goals to 14 on the Kieran Haiketsu scoreboard. Great drink, Kieran Haiketsu. Get down there and watch it while you're watching the election results tonight. 16 and a half minutes played.
The election, the second most important thing happening today after this game, of course.
Yes.
St. Peter's and Payneham Norwood Union back in the middle as Payneham get the clearance. Hewson, centre clearance goes out towards Kelly. Trying to find his teammate there, but goes out of bounds. Neither team to get to it. Claiming that it come off the boot of the St. Peter's player there, Kelly, but umpire was clued onto it and says ball it in instead. So the two ruckmen to go back at it. Gets the easy tap down, but straight into the lap of the St. Peter's midfielders. Long down the line. They decide to go the outer side this time instead of the corridor. Ball's now back in dispute. Nye handballing it out. Finding a little bit of uncontested ball here. Payneham Norwood Union long down the line and a good fist over the line there by Belperio. So 2-2-14 playing Payneham 0-0-0 yet to score. Thank you for joining us on your Saturday Arvo. Of course, Div 1, Adelaide Footy League. A beautiful day, 24 degrees. Good tap down there inside. Oh, could have got legs there. In fact, it is called, so a little bit of tunnel underneath there by Carruthers. And Payneham, a chance to go long inside forward 50. Packs forming inside, ball now in dispute. St. Peter's working really well by hand. Goes outside forward 50 into some space.
Had a chance there. That was almost their first clean inside 50, but again, St. Peter's were ready for it. And now they can counter-attack. Bouncing along the wing, takes one bounce, takes a second, has a handball on, he goes there. And now thinking about the one-on-one, he does well to push off his opponent, takes a great mark as well.
End-to-end ball movement for St. Peter's. It was beautiful, and that kick from Johnny Reid was spot on.
Yeah, perfectly called, and it's going to be Harvey George having a shot again. But yeah, great play from one end of the ground to the other. Took two bounces on the wing, had an overlapping handball. Because of that, Harvey George now has a shot on goal. Had a shot from earlier, but that one was about 50 metres out. This one a little bit closer, but a bit more of an angle. As the silence comes over the stadium, but the kick just to the right, it's going to be another behind for St. Peter's. It's actually 2-4, I believe. I don't think it's 2-3, but
I do believe there's been a miss
one
behind there at some point. So
if you see the scoreboard on the screen, it might be a little bit different to the scoreboard in the background of in-person scoreboard, but we'll get that fixed at quarter time. Or hope they fix it at quarter time. But still, 4 misses to St. Peter's in this quarter. They could have been leading by more. Payneham haven't scored yet, not even behind, but they could have been much worse.
On fairly easy set shot attempts too as well, Jad, must be said. And really not too much to speak of. A little bit of a light breeze around here at Payneham Northern Union, but not a real lot to speak of. Players of this calibre probably should be putting through. Umpire says give it to me once again. A lot of this play has been spent on the outer side here, right in front of the old scoreboard. In fact, it's going to be balled in as it went out of bounds. So, balled in now. Ruckman going at it, tapped down by Carruthers. Players disputing inside. Close tackle, handballed out by Payneham Northern Union, but in fact, I think a throw's been called here. Ball's going to be called back and go in the way of St. Peter's. So, Nelligan chips it across, and quickly they want to get inside forward 50. Contest forms and play on. Payneham decided not to pay the mark. I thought a mark would have been paid there. Kelly goes crashing to the ground but gets knocked out of bounds, and umpire will ball it in once again. I reckon this is about the 10th time, maybe even the 12th time that this ball's been balled in on this outer side here, Jad.
Yeah, a lot of the play being on the wings for both sides of the wings. It's not too much corridor so far in this match.
So, fisted away, Nelligan hands it off. High ball now going inside forward 50. Pack forming on the ground, ball in dispute again. A good hand off by Reid, and going inside once again. Looks online but just fades right for a behind. And peppering the goals at the moment, St. Peter's. Officially, it's actually 2-5-17 to Payneham yet to score.
Yeah, they're peppering the goals. Haven't quite hit the ball between the big sticks enough, but still leading comfortably. But it could have been much worse for Payneham. 21 and a half minutes played. George again in front. Again takes a nice mark. He's been marking it very nicely. A lot of players on here looking for the mark forward. In the end, he just kicks it in between two of them, says you guys fight for it. And now the chance forward through the soccer kick. Can they get the snap away? Payneham do well to dispossess the St. Peter's players there, but it's going to be a bit of a congestion. Ball off 40 metres from the goal of St. Peter's. Can they find a quick snap here? The ball bobbling out the back of the pack, a bit like a rugby scrum. It's going to be wrapped up again for another stoppage.
Umpire took some time to get to that one too. I think they were wrestling on the ground for what felt like about a minute there, Jad, and umpire didn't want to call it.
Exactly, I thought it might have been on the ball or something, it took so long, but it was not to be. Again, Payneham just clearing it out of the defence anywhere possible. There's a mark. Play on, says the umpire, no mark.
I had my binoculars out for that one and I thought he got that clean, Nick Kelly, but in fact the umpire says that he's going to ball it up instead. I thought he had every piece of that. Of course, wasn't the player in front. Stands in the ruck contest instead and knocks it down and straight into the contest.
Yeah, it could have been contender there for Mark of the Week thanks to Born to Build, and in the end, not even paid a mark, so it won't count.
We'll pay it to him. Even though he didn't get the kick, we'll pay it to him. St. Peter's have been really good tight in the contest. Get the quick hands out and go back inside forward 50. A little bit of holding there going both ways, so nothing called, and Paynham's good enough to retreat. Outside, Rahui going up for the pack, and obviously a smaller player inside couldn't get the mark. And looks like kicking in danger is being called there inside, so Payneham looking to clear the danger. Mackenzie Bauer decides to just retreat. So Payneham Norwood Union looking to move the ball quickly now.
They have a few numbers on the wing. They
have a lot of numbers, yeah.
Outnumbered.
Haven't spent a lot of time on this outer side. Good mark taken there.
They had numbers, they had 3 or 4 to 1, a bit shorter. They went long instead and just got outmarked on a 1-on-1.
So Newman decide to take the corridor once again. They go to the outer side. De Cesare is not good enough to hold on to that one, and Payneham moving the ball quickly now, going inside forward 50. This might be their best chance. Good mark taken, diving to the ground. Fantastic mark there taken by Christian Sig, and he'll line up their best chance here, Jad, to try and get a score on the board.
Yeah, finally they find a way forward, find a one-on-one in the forward line. Takes a mark just, but it is a mark, and they're going to have a shot at goal finally.
So yet to kick a goal in season 2025, Joey Christensen. He'll kick this one from about 25 to 30 metres, probably on about a 30-degree angle. Coming in now. Watch the goal umpire here. It looks like he's not moving too much as he puts it through. The first goal of the afternoon for Payneham Norwood Union, and that's one they needed before the quarter-time siren.
Yeah, great goal, and he loved it straight off the boot, was celebrating. Could hear him celebrating from here. He was happy with that one, and much needed goal, as you mentioned. Kicking straight, which is important if you want to come back into this one, because St. Peter's yet haven't kicked that straight, and it's going to be, finally one goal, plays 2-5, 25 minutes gone on the Kieran High Kitsich scoreboard, and Chris Danzig steps up in that moment.
It's been a really interesting contest. I feel as if St. Peter's have been much better in the contest, moving the ball around through hands as well. So both ruckmen going at it once again, and you see that right here, got the hands out, they're able to kick it out. I thought the umpire was circling there for holding the ball, but no whistle cleared. A pack forms once again, only about 10 metres from where it started. Umpire says give it to me, I'll ball it up once more. It's been a contest to start. Tap down in front, got the arms free there, so they're able to move the ball by hand once again and go inside forward 50. Pack leading at it. Ball's in dispute here. There's been a whistle call. What way is it going? It's going the way of Payneham.
Pressure relieving free kick there. Eli Roberts deep in defence. Doesn't have too much movement up forward for him. There's the siren anyway, so it won't matter in the end. And it's going to be 1-0-6, plays 2-5, 17 on the Kieran High Kitsich scoreboard. That's quarter time. It's been an interesting contest. St. Peter's been probably a little bit better in the contest, getting the ball movement, but they haven't taken their chances, so Paynham's still in it with that late goal thanks to Chris Danzig. We'll be right back after this short break.
Yeah, I've got it unplugged, so...
I had that down. I crossed it out because I'm like, oh, did I get it wrong?
Yeah, I did the same thing. I was doing the school but on the line, and I had an extra point.
Yeah.
And I got, hang on, I'm wrong.
Nah,
I took it
I'm
off.
sure there's another point.
And then I put it back on when you guys said
I can see them talking about it on the back of the floor now.
It's probably just I'm not sure what
Any rap tickets, guys, go at half time. $450 worth of prizes. Beautiful price, and good luck, love. Thank you very much. One for 5 or 2 for 10. Go at half time. 1 for 5 or 3.
Welcome back to the second quarter here in the BTR Excavation Division 1 football. Payneham Nord Union versus St. Peter's at Payneham Oval. 1-0-6 plays 2 goals 5-17 as on the Kieran High-Catcher scoreboard. We'll quickly run through our sponsors: Filming Footy, Sports Interactive, Classic Clashes, Custom Bio RTC, High Five E-Bikes, Dartfish, Archie's, Jag Meatworks and Kimberley Resorts. Interesting first quarter of football, Lewis.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a scrappy contest. I think both teams played quite scrappy, turned over the ball quite a bit. St. Peter's, obviously, as we mentioned, trying to go through the corridor quite a bit, but there was a lot of stoppage. It was a very stoppage-heavy quarter, but they were probably just that little bit cleaner, moving the ball by hand. It got those 7 scores on the board. Payneham cleaned it up a little bit in the last 5 minutes, which allowed them back in, Jad.
Yeah, for sure. Those last 5 minutes were much better. Found some inside 50s, found a goal. As we get back underway, talking about stoppages, there's another one immediately.
Yeah, it's been tight and tough and inside a lot.
As Payneham now look for the clearance, do well to get the handball out. There's a lot of numbers around this pool. Another big tackle, a few players wanting on the ball, a few players thinking it's a bit dangerous. The umpire says, 50-50, I'll bowl it up again. Tap down, and now the clearance from St. Peter's, who's gone to the left this quarter. Looking for something inside 50, but the kick to nobody in particular. Payneham can try and get it out of there. They do well to put the pressure on those St. Peter's. Their pressure's been up all game and could have been an easy kick out of danger, but instead he gets wrapped up for a stoppage right on the paint of the 50-metre line. As they look for a bit of a clearance here, look for a shot at goal, even if they can get a little bit of clean possession. Cleared away by Morris towards the boundary line, trying to keep it in, don't want to do the last possession rule. Goes backwards towards Morris now, who just kicks it along the floor, tries to pick it up but can't. And again, the congestion is up. They find a way out though, Payneham. They do well in that occasion. They find a mark as well, so now they can go forward. Have a bit of a 1-on-1 deep. Cristanti gets rid of an opponent. They go towards that direction, just overcooks the kick a little bit and almost goes straight to where Cristanti pushed his opponent away.
There's a brilliant mark there taken by Charlie Allen in the back line. He moves again to that outer side. Putting my binoculars to good use here, St. Peter's. Yes. They love it out there. But they also do love this, moving inside the corridor and trying to move the ball quickly. They go through now right up the guts, and it's a good kick. Knocked over the back, and now ball's in dispute, but Payneham first to it. Trying to spin around, and a fantastic tackle taken down. And I would have thought that might have been called holding the ball there. Jaddy had a fair bit of room to try and get rid of that, but it was a good tackle nonetheless. Umpire now at 49 metres out, balls it up. Another cry for holding the ball there, and umpire calls it now. So going back the other way, they feel as if St. Peter's are ripped off there a little bit. So Roberts moves it back to the near side. Ball clears the pack, but St. Peter's good enough to recover. Spinning, turning, going back towards the forward 50. Knocked down by Roberts. Maybe caught high there, but nothing called.
Ducked his head, I think.
Yeah, ducked his head into it. Good call there, Jad. Going outside, now inside forward 50. Good kick and right into the guts of the centre, the forward 50 there. Going to get an easy shot on goal here, St. Peter's. About 25 metres out, and a chance for his second goal, Nick Michaels. In fact, sorry, he only had a behind earlier, so I forgot he didn't kick the goal. So a chance for his first goal of the afternoon here, Jad.
4 last week.
Rolling in now, ball's on the way. Just sneaks it in. In for their third goal of this one, St. Peter's through the boot of Michaels, and they've got a bit of a buffer now, Jad.
Yeah, that's better kicking. We talked about their set shots in the first quarter. They were missing those ones from about 40 to 50 metres out. That time, Michaels and McKinnon with the assist, getting it in there nicely. He's got a goal himself, and this time turning provider. As we see Eli Roberts coming off a bit sore in the hands of the trainers. Hopefully he's okay. We'll keep an eye on if he comes back on. But back in the middle. And the first goal of the second quarter go on the way of St. Peter's.
Just keep an eye on Carruthers here, number 12 for St. Peter's. He's been electric in the contest. Yeah, he's been fantastic. He's had plenty of the ball.
Yes, Malachi, because his brother's out there as well, so just making sure you mean Malachi.
Yeah, absolutely.
Number 12, yes, very good player. As St. Peter's now look to go forwards, punched away by Morris, but to no one in particular. He's going to get some help though. Trying to get tackled, trying to get the ball out, he's tackled. Maybe had prior. The umpire says yes, he did have prior. Holding the ball and a great tackle there. It's going to be brought back in for another inside 50 to St. Peter's, you imagine. Goes to Allen, Edward Allen, the captain, inside forward line, 20 metres out. Great mark, straight in front. And it's going to be Bedford having a shot at goal. Ty Bedford, number 10 now, having a shot at goal from about 20, 25 metres out, straight in front. And again, just a great inside 50 there by Ed Allen, captain of course, and in the best players last week as well. Ty Bedford now coming in, starts straight, goes a little bit left, but sneaks in for another goal to St. Peter's, who are really finding the big sticks in this quarter.
Put the goal umpire to work, but just got it to sneak in, and yeah, they've been impressive in this quarter, St. Peter's. We mentioned at the quarter-time break there before we started that they've just been a little bit more crisp with their ball movement by hand, a little bit more uncontested possession, and they've been impressive. Yeah,
their forward line's been performing really well. They're talking to each other. They found another nice mark there, 25 metres out. McKinnon with a goal, Michaels with a goal, now Bedford with a goal. Just their forward line have been performing well. Harvey George with a few shots, he could have had one, as we're back underway in the middle.
So Payneham looking to respond, and you feel as if they need to now if they're going to be any chance in this contest. A pack forms there and a little push underneath, so Payneham now a chance to go inside forward 50. They go now and move inside. Rahui finds a little bit of space moving inside, kicks it to the top of the goal square. Nearly ripped down by Christiansig there, but not good enough to pull it in. St. Peter's now trying to move, but a good tackle taken. A few cries are holding the ball, but nothing called, and boundary umpire's going to ball it in.
Christiansig, the only real dangerous forward so far for Payneham.
He's been extremely dangerous there inside. So ruckman form. Stuart Rattray gets a knockdown and wrapped up immediately. So in a dangerous position here for Payneham, you feel as if they need to convert right now. 4-5-29 to 1 straight 6. St. Peter's, as they have been, Carruthers, quick by hand and now through the corridor. They go quickly up to Bedford and a good mark taken, puts the Jets on straight away. Has no one out in front of him, so puts it straight towards the teeth of goal. It stops, it bounces, it comes backwards, and Payneham able to recover.
Yeah, now the Payneham trying to bring that there from their defence, finds a nice mark by Matt and I. The umpire sees something he wants to reward of 25 metres for, so I think it's going to come back towards Nye. Before he kicked it, saw something he didn't like. They go to Klenig. Again, they're stuck just in that half-back kind of area, trying to find something. They go down the wing. They have numbers, nicely taken by Max Wagner. A few brothers out there for both teams. They go long down the line. Great courage by Ed Allen, putting his body on the line as he always does. Gets crunched from behind, he's down. Both players are down.
There's Mackenzie Bauer crashing through there for Payneham into the captain, Ed Allen.
And Ed Allen's
captain putting the body on the line, and he's chirping to him as well while he's on the ground. There's a bit of push and shove here. They're getting stuck into each other.
I think Ed Allen was making a bit of a statement getting up so quickly when he was the one that got crunched. The person who crashed into him still down.
Yeah, Mackenzie Bauer there, he barely moved. He's been stuck down there.
Important player for them, 3 goals last week. Bauer was in their best players as well. Hopefully he's okay to continue because they really do need him. But Ed Allen, great courage. Bauer, great courage, and it's going to be a free kick on Ed Allen, however. Gets a yellow as well.
That's
Even
a
though he
little
came
bit
off
of
second best.
salt to the wounds, isn't it?
Yeah.
You get up, you're trying to work out what day of the week it is, and you get a yellow card shoved in your face as well. But it was courageous there by the captain, Ed Allen, and not that they needed any more momentum, St. Peter's, but they get it there with their captain, proving that he's strong in the contest.
Yeah, been busy for the bench of Payneham. They've had a few people come off sore. Again, we'll keep an eye on him. He's a key player for them. Allen goes towards his brother Charlie, and now finding Michaels far from home. The kick though, nice. And again, this time going through the corridor, St. Peter. They've been trying to do that all game. They finally have had the opportunity to do so. That kick nice to the forward line. Just found a player that got off the leash a little bit. It's going to be a shot from about 40 metres out, so not the easiest, from Henry Nelligan.
And that was Malachi Carruthers again hitting him on the chest with just a perfect kick there, Jad. He has been so impressive so far in this contest.
Yeah, he really wants the Archies and the $50 gully voucher. As Nelligan played for Nord in the SNFL, Premiership player, I believe, from Nord as well. Going to have a shot about 45 metres out, high kick. Will it make the distance? Right on the line of distance or not. Bounces in, so it is going to be a goal to Henry Nelligan. Not enough players back for Payneham. They might have been able to get a hand to that one if they had a bit more players there, because there was a few players there got smothered out of it by the attack of St. Peter's, and it's going to be another goal.
Really impressive work there from St. Peter's. They once again moved the ball through the corridor, and that way they were able to open up both sides of the ground.
Yep.
And Malachi Carruthers, I mean, give yourself a pat on the back. He's set up a few goals now, Jad.
Yeah, there's a reason he was part of the SNFL system in the last few years. He's here full-time now, and a great addition to St. Peter's, have him available all the time. And he's definitely got to be up there for one of the favourites for the High Five e-bike at the end of the year. Great run-down tackle, though, by Morris. He's been one of the best for Payneham as well. He's been very handy all around the field. He does a great job there with the tackle. Not so good with the kick, however. Bit of a turnover. And now Nelligan, who just got the goal, getting involved. Goes forward. Bit of a free player in the forward line. Can he collect it? Does well to get the ball out. And now the kick coming right from the boundary line. Oh, he gets it! Great hit there. Right on the boundary line, straight through the middle. A great finish. We'll find out who that is, because he's probably in contention for the Jag Meatworks goal of the day.
Seal up the meat tray. There's no need, Jad.
He's going to be hosting the barbecue, I reckon, tomorrow. Is a great finish there. We saw them missing some easier shots earlier, and then gets that one. We'll have a quick look on the stream. We can go back just as you can at home to see a bit of a replay of that one.
Now, what a fantastic goal. It was on the far side for us here, so a little tricky to try and get the read there. I think it might have been Lockie de Cesare there on the far side. St. Peter's have a run on here. Just absolutely dominating inside the contest and getting it inside their forward 50 at a quick rate.
4 goals to 0 this quarter.
Now to the outer side here, and Malachi Carruthers has a little bit of room to move. Lowers his eyes inside forward 50 and drops it in front. This one's going to go out of bounds, around 20 metres around, 30 metres around from Payneham Norwood Union's goal. So you mentioned there, Jad, 4 unanswered goals. Now out to an impressive advantage here, St. Peter's. Ball now down low. Payneham trying to work their way around, duck the head into that contest, so nothing's going to be called. In fact, he's going to be called for holding the ball. Just dove on top of the ball and gives St. Peter's the opportunity here to respond and convert through their 5th unanswered goal. A couple players leading inside. This is going to be a tough kick.
It was de Cesare with that goal. Just went back on the stream, on the filming footy stream, went back, found that one. Yeah, great finish by him.
So I believe this is Harvey George on the outer side. Man on the mark's about 30 metres out, but it's a real tight angle. On his way in. Kicks it from about 42 metres out. Looks online, doesn't quite make the distance and gets punched through. So minor score 6-6-42 for St. Peter's, one straight 6. It's a bit of a massacre forming here at the moment, Jad.
Yeah, you're right. 4 goals to 0 since the second quarter. Only 14 minutes played in this second quarter. So definitely momentum all with St. Peter's and kicking amazing goals as well as crucial goals. Forward again, Bedford takes the mark. Play on, says the umpire. Now they go forward. They have a player free on the lead. Does well to quickly take that lead. Gets away from the defender before anything can happen, and it's a great goal. A great mark, by Nick Michaels, who's had a goal already. 4 last week, 5 for the season total. 23 last season as well, so definitely knows how to find goals in the crucial moments. Comes in now, he likes it straight off the boot, and why not when it goes straight through the big 6? Another goal going the way of St. Peter's. 5 in this quarter alone, 7 in total. 1-0-6 plays 7-6, 48 on the Kieran Hayakachi scoreboard. 15 minutes played in this second quarter. And yeah, Payneham going to have to get a few in a row or it's going to get out of hand real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
If it isn't already.
Yeah, I think it is. That's what I was about to say, Jad. I think it is, and especially in this quarter here, they just get their hands on the ball and they move it quickly through hand, and then just their ability to move through the corridor when Payneham turn the ball over, it just opens up both sides of the 50 and able to find something. But Payneham need to respond quickly if they want to try and hold face. Christian Signal into the middle, tries to rip through a tackle but not strong enough. Gets balled up once more, tapped down inside, and in the ruck contest there holding on, so it's going to be a free, an advantage paid here for Payneham. A quick kick goes and marked there about 55 metres out for Harrison Viney. Going inside forward 50, about 30 metres out of pack forms, and St. Peter's quickly rebound. And a quick kick over the top. There's Malachi Carruthers once again. Thought about giving the handball. Once again, you can see where his eyes are looking corridor. Decides to chip the ball over instead. Edward Weeks has someone fresh off the bench there to just chip the ball over if he wants it. Deciding to look a little further up the ground. Had Rahui coming right at him and put the pressure on and forced the turnover. So Payneham now going inside forward 50. And a good outstretched mark there taken. So Catalano chips the ball inside, finds an open player, and a chance here for Payneham Norwood Union to score their second goal.
Yeah, a bit lucky there. Well, not lucky, but as in they've got the they get the smother in the middle of the ground, then they had the whole forward line open for them to do whatever they would like. And yeah, first real mistake in a while from St. Peter's, and it might cost them a goal.
He had the quick little kick there, Edward Weeks, and decided not to take it. Could have just kept the ball moving forward, but now Lurs, a chance to try and just eat into this already massive margin. He's pretty well straight on here. Has to kick it from about 35 metres out. Ball's on its way and it's through. Goal umpire did not have to move a muscle. The second goal of the afternoon for Payneham Norwood Union. 2 straight 12, 7-6-48 for St. Peter's on the Kieran scoreboard.
Yeah, Tay Crawford Sanderson there, number 4 with that goal. And yeah, much needed goal for Payneham. They need a bit more of that. Again, it came off of St. Peter's defence, which is not always, hasn't been happening much, but looks like Tom Lur's actually number 4, bit of a change of numbers late, so yeah, Payneham numbers for me are all messed up, so I might have to pick that up.
They did switch it up on us, Chad. Yes. They're keeping us busy, keeping us on our toes.
I don't know if I even have a Lur's playing, might be a late change in, so yeah, but great goal from him to come in late. All the players got around him as well, might be his first game. Got to get that confirmed, but great goal by him and a much needed goal. Chris Dancing now in the middle, he gets it out. He's been probably their best player for Payneham, been dangerous all day. They need a few goals in a row now just to get some confidence, get momentum, find a way back into this one, but the umpire's not going to be helping him with a free kick on against them. As St. Peter's now look to go up the field. Good mark on the wing. Looking up the field, not too much movement, but sees something he likes, quickly darts it towards him. And now finds Carruthers, Malachi. A lot of brothers out there, 2 Carruthers, 2 Allens.
We don't have the...
2 Wagners for Payneham.
We don't have the advantage of stats quickly, but Malachi Carruthers would have to have at least 15 touches already in this one, Jad.
Yeah, at least. He's been all over the midfield, finding the ball on the wing, got a goal himself as well, so yeah, definitely at least 15. And still time to go in this second quarter. As you see, Nick Michaels coming back on the field after a bit of a break. He's dangerous. Goes straight to the forward line. Look for him to get involved if St. Peter's can get a quick clearance away here. Carruthers again gets his hands on it. Tackled immediately though. I think St. Peter's is trying to calm down, calm the momentum of Payneham, get their hands back into it. They find a quick kick away, Payneham, but again the numbers of St. Peter's behind the ball is good. They have the numbers there to clean up if they just can be clean. They do well until they turn it over, and now Payneham look to go forward. Again, it's going to be a bit of a counter-attack for them. They've got players asking for up the field. He's going to go there now. Big kick, but gets smothered. Just shows the commitment there and the pressure from St. Peter's all day. And now they can try and rebound through Carruthers again. Takes a bounce that doesn't work. We've seen a few of that today from both teams. Stuart Rattray there at that time. And he gets tackled because of it. Looking to get a stoppage. It will be a stoppage eventually. And yeah, just another bounce that doesn't quite hit the mark.
Look, we got nothing against Ruckman here in the commentary box, but sometimes it's not a good idea for the big guys to try and have a running bounce.
Yeah, it's a long way down.
It is a long way down as the ball trickles out of bounds and to hurl it back in. Around 25 metres around from St. Peter's goal.
Yep.
With a 36-point advantage and in a really comfortable position at the moment. Ball's hurled back in. Tap goes down. Stuart Rattray got his hands on it, but into the lap of his teammates. A snap from the boundary and through for a minor score. So that was Bedford, Scott Bedford. So now moving to 7-7-49 to 2 straight 12 on the Kieran scoreboard. And quickly out of the goal square go Payneham Norwood Union. Out to the outer side. Corralled by Lurs, but good enough to go back inside forward 50. A dribble kick inside. Handball goes out again to Stuart Rattray. Good tackle down low and going to be called for holding the ball. He was on his knees there, Stuart Rattray, the ruckman, but he was good enough to get his long levers in and he's going to have a shot from about 53, 54 metres here, Jad.
Yeah, Stuart Rattray, like I mentioned with Carruthers, full-time this season. Definitely was in their best players when he did play last year, and very handy. Can go forwards, can go on the ruck, can go back if needed as well, and this time finds himself forwards.
So coming in now, Stuart Rattray needs to give it a little bit of everything, puts it to the top of the square instead. In fact, that is going to go through to a minor score. So now moving to 7-8-50, 2 straight 12 to Payneham Norwood Union.
Yeah, Payneham going to have to try and find something. Thought they found a mark in the middle of the ground. Play on, said the umpire. Not quite happy with that. The crowd here thought he marked it. Was Tom Wagner, the captain, trying to bring his team back into this one. But it's going to be bowled up. Look for the midfield again of St. Peter's if they can get out of there. Tackled a bit high, but the umpire said it was fine. It's going to be another bowl up in the same exact position. Kelly with the tap down. Now his midfield's trying to get to work. Morris, a new inclusion this season. He's been very good for them. Big tackle from behind. Morris is still down. Hasn't moved too much since the tackle. He's okay. It seems he's okay. He's a bit sore. But yeah, Payneham, the Payneham bench getting a bit of a workout. Checking up on all the sore players. As we have, I think, about the 4th or 5th stoppage in a row in this probably 20 metre circumference. Again, tapped down by Rattray. Kristansig this time gets the kick away, but to no one in particular. Towards the far wing. Rahui's there using his pace. Needs to be clean. He is. Nicely picked up by him. Does well to dodge a few tackles and now goes forward. Again, to nobody in particular. Hear a few groans from the home crowd here as he just kicked it towards 2 defenders of the opposite colours. And now St. Peter's, just again, when they go forwards, when they get the big kicks forward, they find marks. Nicely taken there by Harvey. Oh, and gets pushed after he marks it, gets the 25 penalty as well. So not only finding their targets, also getting a 25-metre penalty. It's going to be a shot, a goal potentially. Could be a little bit too far out. Hard time he has to kick it. Trying to see who that is. I think that might be Edward Weeks.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Jad.
Number 2.
Has to probably kick this from about 45 metres or so, Jad.
Yeah, I think that's the second or third 25-metre that they've got. And the kick coming in now to the top of the goal square, just to the left. However, they find a mark. Do they? No, it's going to be behind. Thought he marked it on the goal square. Even he thought he marked it on the goal square, but not paid. Over the top. McGill does well to go to get the mark from the kick in. He's been good as well. Probably a bit more quieter than I usually expected, but number 9, McGill, look out for him. He's a very good player for them. Once the 25-metre, thinking the player got a little bit too close to him, but play on. Big kick forward. Can they take the mark? This time it's going to be Payneham's mark. Deep in defence by Brad McKenzie. That's the person you want the ball in the hands of.
Absolutely. Brad McKenzie, we mentioned off the top, 137 state league games across the SANFL and the VFL. Hugs the boundary here, looking for Viney, but couldn't get it. And St. Peter's looking to rebound again once more, and a good mark taken. Quickly moving it on and looking for the corridor once again. Stuart Rattray gets the hands over the top, trying to find a little bit of space here inside. Good tackle there on the outer side. Called for holding the ball. Thought he got a handball there, but fantastic tackle there on the outer side by Bauer. Good to see Bauer's good after coming off the ground a moment ago, Jad.
Yes.
That heavy head clash.
Yeah, good call.
So now looking for something, and I think you alluded to it earlier, Jad. Payneham's ball movement has just been that little bit more stagnant, not looking to take the game on as much, just trying to hug the boundary. Rahui finds a little bit of space now going inside forward 50. A good spoil there by Newman to the outer side. Chase of the boundary line, goes out. Newman diving to the ball, and looks as if it has been called deliberate here. So trying to argue with it, but Newman diving for the ball knocks it out and gives Payneham an opportunity. So it's going to be Viney on the outer side. He's probably going to have to kick this all of about 45 metres. And hugging the boundary line. Keep a close eye here on the goal umpire, see how much he moves. Not much breeze to speak of here at Payneham. There was a little bit at the start of the game, but it is so still here at the moment. A warm day, 24 degrees, comes around a little bit, opens up the angle, and looks like he's put it through. Oh, in fact, the goal umpire said it's a behind. There were a few jeers. They thought that went through, but goal umpire disagrees and threw for one behind.
Unlucky for Payneham. They've been pushing hard for their goal and just not quite getting the luck, but you do create your own luck, and that's what St. Peter's are doing. Just fixing up the numbers there for Payneham. Realised they did have a late change, which we didn't really get told about, but that's okay. Looks like Matty Nunn is not on the list of that they gave us late into the game. So yeah, big out for them. Matty Nunn, we probably should have noticed that earlier, but just check the team sheet, and yeah, Matty Nunn wasn't there. Tom Lure's replacing him, and he did get a goal, so been good. But that is the half-time siren, just as the umpire was delaying the restart, had to fix his shoelaces. But it is half-time. 2-1, 13 plays 7-9-51 to the away team, St. Peter's. It's 5 goals to 1 that quarter, so definitely a dominant quarter. They could have, again, had a few more. 9 behinds is quite a bit, but you'd have to say St. Peter's are pretty much all over them in this first half of footy.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, they started pretty similar to how they started the game in the first quarter, come out electric, probably allowed Payneham back into the game a little bit towards the end of that second quarter, obviously converting on that goal from Lurs a few moments ago, but yeah, they've been dominant, St. Peter's, moving the ball a little crisper through, and obviously now picking up on the fact that Nunn's not playing, that would be that's as big as an out you can get for Payneham. Obviously coming to this game probably not favourites, and most certainly not favourites with Matty Nunn out. So with a bit of a deficit at the moment, 38 points, it's going to be hard for them to come back into this one, Jad.
Yeah, that's right, Nunn out. A late change. Got the team sheets a few minutes before the game started, and had all my numbers scrambled, finally noticed that. But yeah, they didn't have him in round 1 and they lost that one, but still time in this one. We'll have a bit of a break and we'll come back with the second half after this. Welcome back to the third quarter here at Payneham Oval. Payneham Norwood Union so far 2-1-13, plays 7-9-51. 38 points the margin at half time. Quickly we'll run through our sponsors before the game gets underway. Filming Footy, Sports Interactive, Classic Clashes, Custom by ORTC, High Five E-Bikes, Dartfish, Archie's, Jagmeat Works and Kimberley Resorts. As the umpire puts the ball in the air and we'll get underway for the third quarter here. 38 points to margin to St. Peter's. Bit of work to do for Payneham. Let's see if they can kick a few, get a bit of momentum and go forward in their own respect. 0-2 start for Payneham after losing out in the preliminary final to the eventual Premier's Port District last season. So definitely some high expectations coming in this one. But not to be so far, losing to both the promoted teams, Salisbury North and Ross Trevor. They go forward now. It's going to be a free kick to Payneham. Thought about the advantage, but probably smartly done just to go back and get an inside 50 as we see the St. Peter's players flooding back to fill in the gaps. Now the big kick comes to the danger zone. Can they find a mark? Wanted a free kick, but it's going to be play on. Trying to lock them in here. Payneham do well just to get the numbers. Looking for a mark inside 50. Cut off by McGill. Nicely read by him. And now they're going to try and go forward on towards the wing. Bedford's there, needs to be clean, he usually is. He picks it up nicely. Scott Bedford, new to the team this year, passes it off to his brother in Ty Bedford. He's been around for a while, he knows how to get the goals. Already has one today.
He's trying to bite off a little bit of the angle here as well, Jad. He took a few steps in, but the umpire was onto it.
Smartly done by him. Trying to see his goal record. He's been good against Payneham in the past. He's going to have a shot from about 35 metres out. A bit of an angle. Comes in nicely though. The umpire doesn't have to move a muscle. Straight through the middle. And that's his second. And St. Peter's have started the third quarter like they finished the second. Just another goal and keeping the scoreboard ticking over.
Yeah, they've been dominant. They intercept the ball there on the half-back flank and move the ball so quickly. And the Bedford brothers connecting there, and they've just been far cleaner, far more professional. Obviously, you're playing Div 1 footy, you have to be clean through the contest, and they've been far better than Payneham here this afternoon.
Yeah, well said. And Payneham, as we mentioned, missing Matty Nunn, but besides that, haven't quite started the season as they would have hoped. About 9 teams, we were talking about on the Between Post the other day, about 9 teams can probably still make the finals, and they're definitely in the mix, but they're going to have to start getting the wins and start closing the gap on the others, even though it's only 3 games in. Malachi Carruthers again with the composure. He's been good all day. Kicks it long towards McKinnon, who plays on quickly with the handball, and now inside 50. Big fly, wants the free kick. Play on, says the umpire, but finds its way out the back of the pack, and the second goal in a row to Ty Bedford. His second within the first few minutes of this match, and he gets his third.
He's been super impressive, and again, it's just about St. Peter's being far cleaner with their possession. It seems every time Payneham get it, they're fumbling the ball. There's a lot of kind of patting the ball in front of them, not being able to pick the ball up cleanly, but St. Peter's super professional when they get the ball, Jad.
Yes, for sure. And another goal there for Ty Bedford. And yeah, you just saw the composure by Carruthers. Found McKinnon, who's a bit of a taller player, but he also had composure just to not blaze away, not kick it to nobody, handballing it over the top to a teammate.
So back underway here in the middle. Payneham barely had a clean possession so far in this third quarter. St. Peter's going to work again in the middle. Batting the ball ahead is the big ruckman there inside. Pack forming again. They've gained about another 15 metres here. St. Peter's looking for another inside 50. Umpire says, give it to me, I'll ball it up. So the ruckman go at it again. Kelly gets the hands down and straight into the lap of his midfield. Payneham once again handballing it out in front of Rahui, but the ball isn't clean. Going to ground a lot. Working their way up the ground, trying to find a ball inside. A long ball, about a 60 or 70 metre boot inside. Pack's going to form here and give Payneham the opportunity to try and score. Tackle to the ground. Umpire's circling and says, give it to me. He was driven into the ground in the pocket there, but no free kick called. You can see there they're having a chat to the umpire. So right in the pocket Around 15 metres out from Payneham's goal, taken right out of the ruck there. Straight into the hands of St. Peter's. Once again, Payneham turning the ball over where they really need to keep it in, straight into the lap of the ruckman and Kelly. So Payneham looking to go deep back inside their forward 50 once again. A big boot inside. God, pack flying and a strong pack mark taken by Tom Wagner, the captain, the co-captain there for Payneham. Deep in the pocket, flew over the pack. And has to go around his body here to try and convert Payneham's third of the afternoon. What a brilliant mark taken there. So a couple of players circling around here as he prepares to snap around his body. Keep an eye on the goal umpire, puts it through. So the third of the afternoon here for Payneham Norwood Union. 3-1-19, 9-9-63, and an important goal for Payneham to try and stop the rot.
Tom Wagner, 32 goals last season. Was near the top of the top goal kickers of the whole league, and 3 goals last week, so definitely good goal kicking form, not just last season but starting off the season this one very well. And a much needed goal, as you mentioned, and the captain stands up at a crucial moment.
Absolutely, it is a crucial moment. I think this game, it'd be fair to say, obviously 44 points in the deficit. It'll be hard for Payneham Norwood Union to come back into it, but if they can just try and get back into start somewhere and get back into the contest, and it's super important to them and their season. Of course, percentage plays such a big role in such a tight and tough league. Soccer under the pack there from Payneham to try and gain an advantage. Moving it now through hands, and look at St. Peter's with a clean ball movement around the pack. That is fantastic ball movement, connecting one at a time. Now going inside forward 50 on the Payneham 50, going to the top of the goal square. There's Bedford once again trying to keep it in and goes out of bounds. Umpire going to ball it in. Well, they're going to say it come off the boot here. They're going to talk to the goal umpire, I think.
Yeah, the Payneham player wants it. Yeah, it's going to be last possession. Last possession rule for Payneham. Who bring it back in deep in their defence. Bit of a let off there. Could have easily gone the other way and been a stoppage, but instead they're going to bring it out. This is better from Payneham. They're actually moving it with a bit of intent, moving it to targets up the field with a bit of purpose about their kicking. They switched the ball quickly, found a mark on the wing. This is where they've got stuck. They've got into this wing position a few times, but then didn't know where to go after that. But that kick is really nice. Just saw the target he wanted to, and perfect weight to it. Finds Rahui. He's going to have the inside 50. They need a big mark here like before, but instead it's going to be a big mark coming from the defence of St. Peter's. As he just grabs it and takes his time. Tom Rundle, I believe.
It is.
Takes his time with it, doesn't rush towards Stuart Rattray. Big fly, good mark. Strong mark by the ruckman there in front of the other ruckman in Nick Kelly. Few players on the wing asking for it. It's going to be a tricky kick, a bit of a one-on-one. They do go there. The pack forms in front of them, knowing it's going to bounce in front. And just outside is Morris. Just couldn't keep it in. He's been good, Morris. He's one of their inclusions this season. After losing quite a few big players, have Payneham. They lost Dodson, they lost Hodges, Campbell, Altamere and Jed Spence. But he's been one of the ends, Morris, alongside Bow and Houston. They've probably been in the top 5 players, those 3. So definitely some good inclusions for Payneham. They've got to get that chemistry, get all the... guess the chemistry basically, because you've seen in this early start of the season, they've not really had that chemistry with all the new players yet, having so much change. On the other hand, St. Peter's, they finished 8th last season compared to Paynham's 5th, but kept a lot of their main players. Only lost Cormac Dwyer to Glenunga. He was a really good player for them, but other than that, they kept all their main pillars, and they have that chemistry, and they've been playing well so far. Now, though, however, Payneham get a chance. This time again through Wagner. He has a shot, and instead he's passed it, actually. Thought he might shoot from there. He had a good angle, but instead saw something he likes, and a great work to find Harrison Viney, another key forward for them. Very well done there, and Viney gets the mark thanks to his captain's unselfishness. He's going to have a shot now. Comes in, good kick, gets the goal, and again, much needed goal. That's 2 in a row for Payneham, I believe, so definitely maybe the first time this game I can remember them getting 2 in a row.
It is absolutely the first time they've kicked consecutive goals in this game, and
There you go.
an important goal for them so far. So it moves them to 4-1-25. Obviously still a big deficit here, 9-9-63 for St. Peter's, and still a 38-point advantage for them in this one. But you never know. Plenty of time left in this game, Jad. They could come back into it.
Yeah, for sure. Back to the margin that it was at three-quarter time, 38 points. And first time they've got 2 goals in a row, so that's definitely something they can build on.
So, momentum really in the balance here, or maybe even slightly in favour. Nelligan, he's had a few touches here in the third quarter. He's been impressive in this game so far. Comes to the near side, and a good tackle taken, maybe collected a little bit high here, but umpire says give it to me. Initial contact was around the arms and just slipped underneath. So the 2 ruckmen will go at it. I've been impressed with the work of Stuart Rattray, the ruckman for St. Peter's. Got plenty of the footy himself as well, the big fella. Inside there and tackled. Head did hit the ground, but no free kick called. Umpire's going to ball it up once again. So up, Stuart Rattray gets the tap down and in dispute. It's going to be Harvey George booting it inside forward 50, and now ball's in dispute. Bedford beaten to it. Kleinig gets the ball, gets tackled to the ground. And umpire's going to say once more, give it to me. There's been a few that could go either way here, Jad, as far as holding the ball calls. They decide to call it a 50-50. Ball now falling to the ground. It's going to be a high ball kicked here to the teeth of the goals. Comes off her head there and goes out of bounds right next to the point post, and an opportunity here for St. Peter's to respond. 2 goals in a row, of course, of Payneham Norwood Union. So boundary umpire to hurl it back in. The 2 ruckmen conversing. That's going to be George in the ruck this time for St. Peter's. Fighting for it. Falling down to the ground. Bedford trying to pick the ball up. A lot of players down underneath trying to get it to go. I think that's Christian Sig under the pack. Umpire says give it to me once again. So in a dangerous position here for Payneham. Only 25 metres out from St. Peter's goal. Neither ruckman able to get the advantage there, but it's Carruthers off the pack. Snaps around the body. That was Malachi Carruthers and through for a minor score.
Another 39 for us playing his first game. But Pam was bad at the bone.
Okay,
Bad
cool.
to the bone.
Yes. Fraser Bone, yes.
Yeah, bad at the bone.
Just hearing there from one of the local supporters, of course, for St. Peter's. Very passionate about his club. Just told us that Fraser Bone, first game for him, so he's done a few nice things. Well done to him. As we wait for Payneham to bring the ball back in from their kick in. They do well to find a target. Rahui to Sanzo. Sanzo with the fake handball and goes forward in no respect. 2-on-1 here for St. Peter's. They should clean up. Great effort there by Catalano. Even though it was 2v1, did well to almost win that contest. And now they go through Houston, who's looking for a mark. Marks it by Wagner right on the 50-metre line. It's a long way from home, Tom Wagner, but if anyone can do it, he can.
Number 18, not on our list here. Have you got him on your list? 18 for Saints. Not on that list.
No?
No.
Harvey.
Luke Harvey.
Thank you. Can
And then it's going to be Wagner now, 55 metres out.
there he is, down the bottom.
Straight in front. Left foot coming in. Long high kick. Just to the right post. The umpire didn't have to move too much there. Nearly would have been a 55-metre goal. And Wagner, the captain, really pushing to try and bring them back into this one.
Gotta love the support of the locals, helping us out with some of the names as well. It's fantastic, and this is why we love local footy. Of course, thank you for joining us, watching on the stream here on YouTube, but if you can get to a game, fantastic atmosphere here in suburbia.
Good ruffle at half-time. Great barbecue just below us.
Absolutely. So punch goes down in front. St. Peter's quickly moving the ball by hand and out to the outer wing. Nick Michaels, a couple goals to his name, moves it quickly. And look at this ball movement by hand. Good enough to split the tackle there, Nelligan. And the ball now falls to ground, quickly moving under the tackle. As Payneham now trying to move it and called for a throw. So nothing going Paynham's way. Max Wagner called for the throw there. And they chip the ball over the top. Now working together, trying a 2-on-2 contest here on the near side. Just dropped the ball out the back, not called for a throw this time, and umpire says, give it to me, I'll ball it up. Wasn't technically a throw there, Jad, just almost like a rugby try, just dropped it out behind him.
Yeah,
Bone,
blindsided there.
Bone in the ruck. Going inside forward 50 is St. Peter's once again, and diving forward. That ball did hit the ground, so not paid. Cries a mark here. Carruthers going inside, gets grabbed around the head, but nothing called. Tries to step through it, and umpire says holding the ball. So maybe a bit stiff there, Malachi Carruthers. Tried to slip the tackle and couldn't quite get it done. Thought he got ripped around the head as well. But Payneham looking to respond. Giannini. And you mentioned this before, Jad. They get to this spot of the ground and they just don't quite know where to go. Lurs, one of the goal kickers for Payneham earlier in the second quarter. He's going to cut across the other side of the ground. This can be a risky kick, going over the top and marked. Intercepted by St. Peter's, now going inside forward 50. Ball's in dispute. Coming back out, George has to chip it back and retreat some ground. Ball's bobbled. It was felt the pressure of the Payneham defence. Going inside, Bone hands it off. Nelligan goes to the outer side. Quickly ducking under a tackle was good, and going inside forward 50. Putting the Payneham defence under pressure here. Snapping around the body is Malachi Carruthers. Is coming back, but couldn't come back enough, and through for his third minor score of the afternoon.
Yeah, that goal coming off what we mentioned earlier, just getting it half back and then nothing it forward. They tried to switch it and turn it over. I was watching the bench actually of Payneham, and they were getting quite frustrated with that play. They just got stuck. Again, it's been a familiar pattern, and Jeremy Cheney not happy with that one. Definitely something I'm sure he'll bring up at three-quarter time, but Malachi Carruthers, again, could have had a few more goals. That kick from Payneham just nearly on the fulls, just barely stays in. Because of that, they can try and get the ball forward. Gets smothered though, so again, the pressure from St. Peter's has been really high. We had that Fox Footy pressure rating, flies off the back of him and takes a beautiful grab there.
Johnny Reid, that was, climbing the pack and ripped it down.
Johnny Reid knows how to find the big sticks. 28 goals last season, was leading the goal kickers for most of the first half of the season, then moved back to defence and helped out in defence for the second half. But great grab there, flew high and just had the skills to grab it down, and now he has to finish the job with a kick. He does get it. It's going to be a goal to him, reward for his efforts, and a great mark there. Definitely be up there for the mark of the week, thanks to Born to Build. Check out that one on the Between the Posts football show, but also on the Adelaide Footy League Facebook page. You can vote on that one, St. Peter's fans, because that was great.
Absolutely, fantastic mark. Got up and was good enough to hang up there for what seemed like a couple seconds and rip it down. And just when it seemed Payneham had a little bit of momentum, Jad, seems to have evaporated away a lot of the play now inside of St. Peter's forward 50.
Yeah, Johnny Reid getting on the board. Just another one of their attacking weapons. And as I mentioned last year, moved back to defence for, I would say, the whole second half of the season, and really shored up their defence. Was really a big reason why they could survive relegation. But this year, looking to push on to become 2-1 to start the season. Good win over Golden Grove. And now away at Payneham, looks like another victory for them as they go forward once again, and a good mark. This time a bit further out.
It's Reid again.
Reid again, I thought it was. Number 26, Johnny Reid. This is going to be a bit of a harder kick for him. About 45, 50 metres out even. Quite a tight angle, right on the boundary line nearly.
Not much breeze here, Jad, so just has to pop it straight through the middle.
That's it, sounds easier. Easier said than done. He's going to come in now. Big kick. Definitely knows what he's doing. A great goal, actually. And just as you mentioned, he did exactly what you said. Just popped it up high and long. Didn't waver at all with the wind dying down. And a second in a row for him. We saw earlier Bedford get 2 in 2 minutes or 1.5 minutes. And again, Reid does the same.
Yeah, it was a couple goals back-to-back for Payneham, but quickly squashed away by St. Peter's, and they've just been dominant in this contest. We're really impressed with the work as well. I noticed him in that passage of play there. Henry Nelligan, number 54 for St. Peter's. One of the smaller players out there, but just gets in and under the packs. He's so quick, blink and you miss him. He's got a handball out of the pack, and he's got his team going inside forward 50. So umpire to throw it back up again. Bone climbs up in the ruck and taps it down. There he is again. In fact, that wasn't Nelligan, but Bone finds a little bit of space, moves it ahead. I think that's Carruthers going inside forward 50 once again, no surprise. Bedford off the bounce, jumps around as Nilly puts it through. In fact, it does go through. Got the boundary umpire, got the goal umpire to move a bit, but put it through for another goal. Just about the quickest goal you'll see all season there, Jad.
Another quick goal. That's 3 in probably about 3 minutes. They've just been crazy. But Bedford, with the skills, shows how clever he is up in the forward line. Just with the fake, goes one way, goes the other, and outside the foot shot. And yeah, some really quick goals, really piling on the goals now, really putting it out of sight for Payneham as we approach the three-quarter time.
The fourth goal of the afternoon for Ty Bedford as well. We spoke a lot about Malachi Carruthers and his eligibility for the Archies and, of course, the voucher. But potentially trying to take it away here, Bedford.
Yes.
The inside again, St. Peter's getting to work. Christian Sig down underneath. Handballs it out, gets tackled to the ground. I believe that's Rahui underneath. An umpire circling now. Says, give it to me, I'll throw it back up. So 12-11-83 to 4-2-26. Starting to become a little bit of a drubbing here as Nelligan, those quick hands again to the outside, but ball couldn't be controlled by the St. Peter's midfield, and Payneham looking to respond, but once again they just can't get a clean footy and called for holding the ball. So moving the ball quickly once again, Nelligan. Calling his name a lot here in the third quarter, Jad. Stuart Rattray gets the hands out. Moving quickly inside forward 50 again. St. Peter's with a good mark. Lockie Di Cesare falling backwards, good enough to hold on. He's already kicked one goal from a similar position so far here, Jad. Right here, tucked against the scoreboard. It'll be interesting to see if he goes with a drop punt here, or if he goes around the body. Looks like he's lining up for the drop punt. So you see the scoreboard there right behind him. This is just pile on the pain here for Norwood. Payneham Norwood Union, I should say. So coming in now, Di Cesare. Ball's on its way. And just goes through for a minor score. Drifts across. So 12-12-84 plays 4-2-26 on the scoreboard.
Straight down the guts, Payneham go through from that kick in, but Newman's there to cut it off. They tried the wings, that didn't quite work. Trying the guts, didn't work that time. Nearly takes the mark one-handed. That would have been nice, but it's going to be play on. Looking for a bit of space to get the kick away, but wrapped up. The umpire will come in and sort him out. Over the top goes Payneham with the kick away. Can they try and find a way through Payneham? Be a bit of a counter-attack. Instead, it's going to be coming the other way. Big mark in the goal square. Can he get it? Just drops the chest mark and then rush behind for just that 1 point added to the scoreboard, but nearly a mark right in the goal square there. Probably would have been easy to mark and then drop it, but it won't be this time for St. Peter's. So Payneham now along the wing. Some handballing chains, overlapping handballs. Looks good. This time they decide to kick it towards Wagner. He's been dangerous this third quarter despite the score, and just goes out in front of him for a boundary throw in. He's probably the only person inside that 50 metres for Payneham. They're really getting squeezed however St. Peter's would like at this point of the game, and Wagner worked hard there to cause the stoppage.
8 of the last 10 scores going the way of St. Peter's. It was those 2 goals midway through this third quarter going the way of Payneham, but Nelligan once again getting his hands on it. He's had plenty of the ball, and I think every single disposal he's had has been a handball to a running teammate. And a free kick's been paid here the way of Norwood. So Giannini on the outer side. Decides to just chip a ball inside. Sanzo. Called to play on. Goes long and just goes shallow inside forward 50 ball, and St. Peter's players blue, Guernseys everywhere. They take a risky kick though to the outer side, and Pack gets cleared and gives St. Peter's the opportunity to move the ball up through Bedford. Bedford with a one-on-one play here, just snaps the ball inside the corridor and it was picked off. Payneham Norwood Union now a chance to respond. Pack forming inside, and St. Peter's once again just that little bit cleaner. But just turning the ball over once again. Ball now moving inside forward 50 for Payneham Norwood Union. Gets handballed out the back of the pack. Ball's now in dispute and tackled to the ground, slung down. It'll be interesting to see here. Mackenzie Bauer was the one there getting slammed to the ground, and he's going to get a free kick. Umpire comes straight in, so this will give Mackenzie Bauer a shot from about 50 metres. You think he'll come off his mark and have a crack here. They haven't had too many opportunities to score. 4 goals too. They've actually kicked quite well and converted well for their very limited opportunities, Jad.
Yeah, for sure. They've been good when they get it forward, but they're just not getting it forward enough, unfortunately, for them.
So Mackenzie Bauer yet to get a goal this afternoon, has 3 on the season. Ball's on its way, and it doesn't look too bad. In fact, it's just snuck through for a fantastic goal from the boundary. And the 5th goal of the game for Payneham Norwood Union, 5-2-32. Plays 12-13-85 on the Kieran scoreboard.
Yeah, great goal, Bauer. 3 goals last week against Salisbury North. And a great finish there. 45, probably about 45, 50 metres out, and just slotted it. Didn't even look like he kicked it that hard, just accurately through the middle. And yeah, good goal for Mackenzie Bauer.
So made the most of their opportunities. They're very limited, Payneham Norwood Union, but they've been able to convert on them. 5 goals too. Obviously playing well with the weather. St. Peter's could be up by a lot more, Jad.
Yeah, for sure. St. Peter's 12-13 behind, so definitely one thing to work on during the week. But overall, I'm sure Coach Mike O'Leary will be pretty happy with the performance of his boys so far. Of course, still a quarter to go here at Payneham Oval, but a great performance for St. Peter's. It's going to be a stoppage though, just inside the 50-metre line for Payneham. Can they try and get 2 in a row like they did earlier? Looking for the kick away, but looking for the handball away, I should say. It gets wrapped up. It's going to be holding the ball. We'll see where they go from here. St. Peter's, we've seen them use the wings well, we've seen them use the corridor well. This time they use a bit of a mix of both. Goes straight to Bedford, but just over the top of him. And now Luke Harvey running. Tries to pick it up, just overruns it slightly. But he got teammates there to help him out. Harvey again in a good position. Instead he goes a bit further along towards the forward line. Just couldn't take the mark. Was George. It's going to be a free kick though. Play on advantage. Could have finished it, but just a little bit too low with the snap. It's going to be just tapped through for a behind. So tried Michael to take the advantage. Just his snap was a little bit too short, and he gets chopped off and punched behind by the defence. And now they're going to go try through Lurs. Allen's there, usually consistent, does well again. Holding the ball, it is, says the umpire. The crowd wanted it, and the umpire agreed to Giannini. Not the best kick, unusual from him. And now the numbers are with St. Peter's. There's about 4 to about 2 people there, so they do get a chance to kick it away, but only as far as Patrick Sanzo of the black and white. Through the corridor. Go Payneham. And now another kick long down the line. Can they collect it nicely? He does. Now trying to handball it to his teammate, but just goes over for a boundary throw in just on the opposite side, about 70 metres from home.
You think this third quarter would finish any second now? Coming into a 30th minute of this quarter. A healthy advantage for St. Peter's. Kelly gets the knockdown in front for Payneham Norwood Union. Goes falling to the ground. Another pack forms, and there you go. That brings us to 3-quarter time and a 54-point advantage to St. Peter's, and they've just been dominant in the contest. As I mentioned before, had just the 3 scoring shots of that third quarter going the way of Payneham Norwood Union. Every other scoring shot going the way of St. Peter's. 54-point margin. It was 38 at half-time, 17 at quarter-time. Chad, they just keep building on this margin.
Yeah, for sure. We can see their goals, 5 goals to 3 that quarter. So definitely a dominant quarter, and yeah, it just shows that they finding the goals, and it's a bit of a high-scoring quarter. I guess that's why it went for a little bit longer. But St. Peter's in control of this one. Mike O'Leary's going to bring him in and work on a few little things, but he'll be happy overall. We'll have a quick break and we'll be back for the 4th quarter after this. Fourth quarter about to get underway here at Payneham Oval. Thanks for watching, everyone at home. It's been a good game of footy, a solid game of footy. There's other streams as well on Filming Footy to check out, but here at Payneham Oval, it's 5-2, 32 plays 12-14, 86, and Lewis yeah, a bit of an interesting game.
Absolutely, it's been a fantastic game. We thank our sponsors as well, Filming Footy, Sports Interactive, Classic Catches, custom by ORTC, High Five E-Bikes, Dartfish, Archie's of course, and the player of the game, we'll talk about that later, getting a pair of Archie's, Jag Meatworks and Kimberley Resorts. We thank you for joining us on your Saturday afternoon, of course. Div 1 Adelaide Footy League. It's been a dominant performance by St Peter's as the fourth quarter gets underway with a 54-point advantage. Payneham looking for a little bit of dignity here, you'd think. Rahui gets the ball free. Handballs it out in front of Lurs, and Lurs got the call up later. Good kick inside forward 50 and a mark taken. Mac Haynes, the co-captain, on the outer side. So Mac Haynes trying to eat into this margin, and maybe Coach Jeremy Cheney talking to him about their game plan going to the fourth, and maybe just a respectful margin. Get inside 40, 30 points even if they can get a bit of a run on and take some momentum into next week. So Haynes, ball's on its way and fading right through for a minor score. So the third behind of the game, 5-3-33, 12-14-86 on your Kieran scoreboard.
Going out now, finding McGill. He's always solid. Benny McGill. Carruthers the one kicking it to him. He's had plenty of it as well. Finding Nelligan, another one that's been involved a lot. So just the top disposal getters almost sharing around early. To Rundle, who's been solid in defence. Haven't called his name much, but that usually happens with the tall defenders. They just do their job. And he's been solid back there, keeping the likes of Viney and Wagner quiet. Mark Cade. Thought about the advantage, but wasn't to be.
Ooh.
A bit of afters as well. A few players not liking the treatment to their players. Gives away the 25 as well against McGill. He's down, still hurt after that. It was not the best of actions.
It was McGill and Christensig getting into it, and I don't know if the camera caught it, but McGill gave Christensig one around the neck, and then obviously knocked to the ground after that. But St Peter's, obviously with the ball, they're the beneficiary.
Yeah, not very good. A bit of frustration there from the Payneham players, just giving that one away. Big mark, not quite, just drops at the last second. He's going to have a chance here to have a shot to Cesare, trying to get his third, but not to be at that time. Just goes around. His second would have been if he kicked that one, just missed earlier. Another behind to him, but yeah, a bit of frustration there from the Payneham players right in front of us. As the first score, the point goes towards St Peter's there. They go long, Payneham, trying to clear it far from their defence. They do that successfully, but now it's about winning it on the wing. If they can do that, it's going to be congestion, it's going to be bowl up.
So trading a point each to start here, the fourth quarter at Payneham Oval. Rattray inside. Stuart Rattray, I should say. He's been impressive in this one as well, as St Peter's go inside forward 50 again. A little bit of space here for Bedford, but ball goes past him and trickles towards the boundary line as Payneham collect their defence together and try and chip it around to the outer side. Giannini with a little bit of space, gets on the run and takes a couple bounces, handballs the ball over the top, and Payneham now with a little bit of space and trying to move it with a little bit of pace as well, gets intercepted. It was well done again. I believe that was Carruthers on the outer side getting involved again. Payneham get the ball back through Rahui. Inside forward 50, lob the ball over the top, and good ball movement. They get a set shot on goal here through Harrison Viney. So one goal already to Harrison Viney. Has 8 Sandful games through with Norwood Redlegs, playing here at a Division 1 Adelaide Footy League.
Famous last name Viney for Norwood.
Absolutely. Coming in now and looking to get another goal here for Payneham. Slots it straight through the middle. His second goal of the afternoon. Certainly can hold his head high at the end of the day. 6-3-39 to 12-15-87 on the Kieran scoreboard.
His second for the afternoon. The first goal scorer, a double goal scorer for the Payneham Norwood Union team, as they get the first goal of the quarter. So again, a few more of them, probably a bit too far here to get the win, but just make it a bit more of a respectable scoreline, reduce the the difference of the percentage as well, which will be crucial come finals time.
That's what I was saying. You know, Coach Jeremy Cheney maybe just having a conversation about being able to hold your heads a little higher when you walk off, and maybe just give yourself something to be a little prouder about.
Yeah, that's it. A quick clearance here for SPOC. They just run it out of the midfield and find Bedford on the lead.
That was McKinnon out of the midfield.
Yeah, very tall midfielder, I thought almost. It was a ruckman, but he grabbed it and just ran probably about 20, 25 metres straight from the centre circle, and just a calm kick towards Bedford. It's a tricky kick. It's not going to be a straight forward set shot a goal, but it's going to be about 45 metres out. Bit of an angle as Bedford comes in, but he's already got 4, so definitely looking for a handful here. If you get a 5th, he likes it off the boot, but it went a little bit too left, just late, so it's going to be a behind to him. But another shot a goal for SPOC. Finds Morris. He's been good all day as well, with the white glove, of course. Helps us spot him from far away. That kick, just to no one in particular, goes over all the Payneham players and easily cut off there by SPOC, who goes wide to Carruthers. Seems to be everywhere. Now again towards McKinnon, but just over his head. He's still involved. Trying to get the kick away now. McKinnon does well to find a kick forward. Over the top, George wants to push in the back, gets it as well. Harvey George, he's been handy. He hasn't kicked a goal yet, but he's had about 2 or 3 chances at it, so this can definitely be his chance to get on the scoreboard. Straight in front, about 35 metres out, I would say, by the time he kicks it. So saw George a bit last year. He was almost like a second option forward for them, not playing as often as, but so far this season, started the season well, and he's going to have a shot at goal now.
Again, just really crisp ball movement from St. Peter's. They forced the turnover and they were able to get an opportunity inside.
That's definitely been a bit of a theme of the game. As George lines up, he's missed 2, I believe, but they were a bit harder kicks than this one. Straight off the boot. Hits the post. Not his day today. Looked like it was sailing in, and last minute hits the post. Still rattling as they take the kick in to Payneham.
So now out to an even 50-point advantage, St. Peter's. They get the ball back about 60 from goal and chip it inside. Bedford would probably take that 9 times out of 10. Couldn't get it to go that time. Handballs the ball inside the corridor, and Payneham are quickly onto it. And they look to switch it to the outer side. Quick kick going out and a pack's forming. It was good work there by Carruthers. That's Fergus Carruthers to try and swat it away, but Payneham quickly onto it, and they're moving the ball by hand, but a bad turnover straight into the lap of St. Peter's and Charlie Allen going inside, but Giannini read the ball perfectly, and they rebound back out of their defensive 50 once again, Payneham Norwood Union. They go back out to the outer side and chip it over, but straight into the lap of Luke Harvey. They just get out of their defensive 50 and they don't know where to go, Jad. And quite often they're turning the ball over. So Harvey goes long. Out the back of the pack, Payneham trying to connect the ball again through hand. They send the ball to ground. Giannini with a hand over the top. Gets crunched in a tackle. Fantastic tackle from behind from Luke Harvey. And good work from SPOC putting the pressure on. Even when you're up 50 points in the game, they want to keep their foot firmly on the accelerator. Down in front. SPOC now moving the ball with ease once again. Crisp ball movement in front. Couldn't hold on to the mark. And quickly moving around through Hewson. Over the top. Lewis couldn't take the mark. Once again, McKinnon. Clean hands, goes inside forward 50. Maybe a little bit of a push there, and it is paid. It was a good mark taken, but got his hands in the back of George, and George is going to have another shot at goal here, so a chance to try and convert on his first. Jad, he's had a bit of a tough afternoon in front of the goals.
Yeah, that's it. George, I think he's missed about 2 or 3. But this is he's had shots like this one, to be honest, about 50, 45 metres out. Quite a bit of angle, except for the last one we saw a few minutes ago, but other than that, he's, been some tricky shots for him.
He'll probably have to kick this from about 42, 43 metres. He's on his way in now. He's probably got about a 45-degree angle. Ball's on its way. Definitely got the distance, but sending the goal umpire to the right through for yet another minor score for George. And that moves them to 12, 18, 90 to 6-3, 39. We mentioned it before, they could be way out ahead. Well, they are way out ahead, but they could be further out
They
ahead.
could be even further out ahead, you're correct. Yeah, they've definitely not had their most accurate kicking in front of goal. That's something the coach can work on, Mike O'Leary. But if you win a game by 50 plus and you're a bit upset that you should have maybe kicked straighter, then there's definitely some positives there. As Payneham now have a chance to go to goal. Has a shot. Great kick as well. That's going to be Harrison Viney with his third. He's definitely stepped up this second half of this game. Didn't call him too much in the first half, but second half he's been very well. And Harrison Viney, known goal kicker, can definitely get big bags of goal. Gets his third. So good game for him individually.
Well, speaking about possibly our votes, when we were off air during the three-quarter time break, and I probably didn't have a Payneham player in the votes, but Viney's been impressive and he's played his role. 3 goals to his name, could possibly sneak in for a vote. Still plenty of time left in this one though, Jad.
Yes, for sure. And make sure you check out the Between the Post show for those 3-2-1 votes. Best player gets a e-bike at the end of the year thanks to High Five e-bikes. 7-3-45 plays 12-18-90 on Kieran Hirokitsu's scoreboard. Nearly 11 minutes played in this final quarter here at Payneham Oval, as we see the sun hiding behind a bit of a cloud as it gets a little bit darker out here. But that's winter footy, that's what we like. Just drops the mark, does Kelly. The crowd groaning and almost a bit of a teasing him a little bit, you know, here at local footy. Everyone knows everyone, they're all happy for him, but he's disappointed himself. Unlucky for Nick Kelly, right in front of the main stand where all the fans are, to drop an easy mark, but they're back underway. Big tackle Giannini, maybe a bit of a sling tackle, but wasn't quite as dangerous as I thought it was. The umpire says it's going to bowl it up. Bone in the ruck, his first game, as we heard from the locals earlier. Carruthers gets his hands to it first again. Manages to find a handball. George trying to get involved. Great pickup. A great kick forward. Bedford now, one-on-one. Just can't get it. It's going to be McKinnon again. Goes forward. He's got a few assists, looking to do that again. Now Michaels with the quick kick away, but he's getting tackled as he gets the kick, and it's going to go out. Not quite. Keeps it in is Johnny Reid. Trying to run out around his defender. Handballing it towards the middle, but gets caught holding the ball. Just couldn't get his fist to it. And play on, says the umpire.
So Payneham Norwood Union through Christian Sig, looking to move it through the outer side of the ground. Got tackled, and that's a fantastic tackle on the outer side. He's going to be rightfully called for holding the ball. Luke Harvey, a couple solid tackles here in the fourth quarter. Playing his role out there on the wing. Little 45-degree ball inside. Valperio looking to find an option inside forward 50. Just keeps the ball low and just rips down a mark with one hand. Fantastic mark in defence. Dribbles the ball to the outer side, has to work through his opponent and does. And chips it back, and they're able to move the ball out through Bauer. They get to this position all the time, don't they, Jad? And not really sure where to go. They decide to switch it to the outer side. Little chip ball over the top, and they find a little bit of space to move. Now Payneham Norwood Union. Mackenzie. A long ball up the wing into a little bit of space, and they find a little bit of room to move now inside forward 50. Viney in a one-on-one. Can't rip it down. St. Peter's build the numbers. A little chip over the top, and they're able to get out of trouble. Edward Weeks. Chip over. Nelligan fighting with it, but Harvey's able to rip it down over his teammate. Extra kick goes long into space. A couple players coming together. Hewson couldn't get it. Picked up by his teammate in Mackenzie. Gets surged upon by St. Peter's players, and umpire says, give it to me. I'll ball it up around 60 metres out from St. Peter's goal. The ball's up and gets knocked down. Third man up in the pack. Little chip kick out of the pack into the middle of the ground. And it's a sloppy kick there from Payneham Norwood Union. Allows them to respond here, St. Peter's. A little chip kick inside, and an uncontested mark inside forward 50 taken, and a chance here. I believe that's going to be Nelligan turning around and trying to slot in a goal. And if he converts in this one, I might see him eligible for a pair of thongs at the end of this game, I think, the way he's been playing.
Yeah, he's been very good around the ground, through the midfield, pushing forward. And yeah, if he can convert a goal, we'll definitely go a long way to him getting the thongs and trying to steal it off Carrazas, I think.
Pair of Archie thongs as well. Super comfort. Nelligan just pops it up and it's coming back. Just sneaks it through, it seems, as Nelligan slots through one. A bit of a subdued celebration there from Nelligan, but he pops through a goal and he's been fantastic. He's second of the game as well, so fantastic game here from Nelligan. And the score dribbles out once more, 13-18, 96 to 7-3-45 on the Kieran scoreboard.
Very unconventional kick there by Nelligan. The ball helicoptering its way through, but it's goal nonetheless, and just extended the scoreline, but also his game elevated to another level. 2 goals from the midfield is a great game in anyone's books. We're back underway in the middle. The 2 ruck go at it. They've rotated a few different people through ruck, both teams, to be fair. That tackle, holding the ball, nearly a bit too dangerous, but it was clean in the end. Just wrapped the arms nicely. It's going to be holding the ball out to Rahui, but it's a high kick towards him, allows the defender time to get back, but he does well to read the play, read the fly of the ball. And now Rahui streams forward, trying to find a teammate, cut off by Rundle. He's again been solid back there in defence. And now they're trying to go through. Nelligan trying to get rid of it, gets wrapped up, finds a way just to handball it forwards, and it just works out in his favour. Towards Bone, over the top of him, just couldn't take the mark, but great follow-up effort from the big ruckman to tackle and put the pressure on, and that's been key to why SPOC have got so far ahead in this game. The pressure from all players, from the defence to the ruckman, as you saw on that occasion. Gets the ball and wins the stoppage for his team. This time, though, however, he does give away a free kick, so a bit of a commentator's curse there. But Matty Nye, he's been decent as well. Gets away forward through Catalano. Catalano a little bit backwards, but trying to use the wings. And like we've been saying all game, get a little bit stuck in this position. There's 2 of them there. They talk and leaves it for Rahui. Skillful player Rahui, as we saw a few moments ago. Just going to go long down the ground. Long down the line. Can they find a mark? Viney just couldn't take the grab. It's going to be called a free kick.
Unlucky there to Rundle. That was a fantastic grab, but Christensen got the free.
I didn't even notice it. I was looking at the ball, but Christensen quick forward. And again, he's been using the ball well. Probably one of their best players up forward. He takes a great... he kicks a great kick forward and a great mark from his teammate.
So Wagner with the mark there as well.
Tommy Wagner with the mark. He's already got a few as well. Just the one actually for him. Had a few shots from the big captain, Tom Wagner. 32 goals last season. Coming in now, left footer. And he nails that one, so his second for the afternoon, and joins Viney with the other player with multiple goals.
You mentioned 3/4 time there, Jad, about Payneham maybe just winning this quarter, and so far they are.
Yep.
In front by 9 points in this quarter alone. So, put a few goals on the board and maybe can hold their head a little bit higher. They'd be disappointed with their performance, obviously, but a little happier with their 4th quarter effort.
Yeah, good spot by you. Yeah, they've been definitely better this 4th quarter. Of course, we, not as much motivation for St. Peter's to keep going at the same intensity, but all you can do is beat what's in front of you, and they have shown it up a little bit for Jeremy Cheney to have a little bit of positives maybe in the game, maybe not too much, but it's going to be interesting for sure to see how Payneham can bounce back from this, because they made the prelims last year, lost to the eventual Premiers Port District in the preliminary final, and are yet to win a game as far as this season goes in 2025, 0-3. We'll see how they can bounce back. They're missing a few players. They've got a new team, a lot of new ins, a lot of new outs, but still probably did not expect them to be in this position. I know Tommy Javor between the posts has been high on them. He tipped them to win this game as well, so he'll get that one wrong. Viney, though, still going strong, looking for his 4th, passes it off instead, and now it's going to find Catalano on the boundary line, cut off nicely again by the St. Peter's defence, professionally done, read the play nicely.
Looked online there as well. Catalano had a chance, but Well defended by St. Peter's as they've done all afternoon. A good mark taken there by Matt Nye. And a chance to go back inside forward 50 and try and convert on back-to-back goals. It's 8-3-51 to 13-18-96. An impressive fourth quarter here for Payneham Norwood Union, and mark just inside the boundary line here. An opportunity to try go inside. Christian Sig now probably doesn't have the distance you'd think. He's lining up as if he does. There's, again, no breeze here at Payneham Oval, so you'd have to give it every bit of 55 metres here, you'd think, to try and float it in. A lot of St. Peter's defenders on the line, trying to just be in the way of this one. Christian Sig so far with 1 goal to his name. Looks online, doesn't look too bad, goes to the goal line. It's right on the goal line. They're pleading that they marked it. And the boundary, the goal umpire has said it's a mark. He hasn't signalled anything, so gave it every bit of effort there, Christian Sig. Obviously, we're about 100 metres away here from the commentary box, so I won't put my opinion on whether that was in or not.
The umpire on the mark there just found it a bit funny. He just stood there, didn't say anything, didn't signal anything. He just mark. He was very confident, and why not? He was right there on the spot.
Rundle and Weeks move it out of the back line and kick it over the top, and a good mark taken. So Scott Bedford, it's been his brother who's dominated down forward, but inside, an intercepted ball there. Carruthers got his hand on it. Maybe stopped his teammate there from being able to take a mark. Oh. Payneham and St. Peter's going at it now. It's 55 metres out from St. Peter's goal. They did get the ball out to George, but not in time. As the whistle was blown, it's to give it to me. I'll ball it up. Stuart Rattray in the ruck is able to get the knockdown into the hands of Carruthers, quickly onto his boot inside forward 50, and a good mark taken. I believe that's Mackenzie there, the experienced backman for Payneham Norwood Union.
21 and a half minutes played in this fourth quarter, and you see they're still putting their bodies on the line, St. Peter's. They've won this one comfortably, but they're still having some really rough tackles.
Scott Bedford inside, can't get that one into the hands of a forward. Flicks it back, Nelligan. Just comes back into the corridor, and what a kick. Into the lap of Malachi Carruthers. And two of the best players here this afternoon connecting, and possibly a chance for Carruthers to slot through a goal. Nelligan has just been fantastic, particularly here in the second half.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough decision.
It is going to be a tough decision, and maybe the Archie's thongs sit on this kick right here, I reckon, Jad. If you can pop a goal next to his name, absolutely. We might have to split the thongs up. It might be a bit uncomfortable. We are wearing Archies, of course. So Carruthers rolling in and maybe just dropped a pair of thongs there. Off the miss and missed left. Through for the minor score. And it's been a bit of a sloppy kicking afternoon for St. Peter's. 13-19-97 to 8-3-51 on the Kieran scoreboard.
Yeah, it's been very high scoring for them. 13 goals, 97 points on the board, but could have been much more for them. It's definitely interesting to see how they go in the next few weeks, if the kicking improves or if not, but they get the 2 points on the board on the ladder, so that's the main thing today. Oh, great mark there by Weeks. Another one of those tall defenders we haven't really talked too much about. It's going to be an extra 25 as well against Rahui, I believe, who ran through the mark. And an extra 25 as well.
That is a coach killer.
For Bauer just being a bit too close when the 25 was done?
Looking at where his head was turned, I think he was having a bit of a chirp and had shared his opinion. Probably got ripped on the 50 too, by the way. I'm not sure that was 50 metres.
Yeah, it's more like a 25 and then an extra 15.
Yeah.
It's going to be still Weeks, I should say, who's, I believe, a defender, so it doesn't look like much of a goal kicker. The crowd next to us discussing that. Good effort with the kick, yeah. Easily probably about 65 centimetre kick if the net wasn't there, but just missing to the left. It is going to be behind, and he goes straight back to defence, so always funny to see someone run 40 metres away from the goal after they have a kick, but it's not to be on that occasion for him. It's going to be a free kick this time the other way, going towards Rahui, who leaves it and gets a 25 penalty.
That was a bit rough.
The kick, the 25 was straight to him, but the ball back to him was straight to him, but he kind of just let it bounce on purpose. Gets the 25 metre because of it, and now the kick forward, no one on the mark, he could play on, and they find Viney. who thought about playing
Definitely
on,
stepped off his line.
instead goes back. He again is doing the tactic where you try and win a few meters. Play on the mark is almost covering the on the full where he's standing. So yeah, both teams, I think, just looking for the final whistle as we get closer to that one. 25 minutes played, but Viney's looking for his fourth. Straight off the side of the boot, stays out on the full as well. So it won't be a fourth for him, still just the 3 goals. Been interesting for a few minutes, been a few funny moments, I'd say. Viney getting involved again, and there's a siren as we reach the full time here at Payneham Oval. 8-3-51 to 13-20-98, 47 points the margin. Going the way of the visitors here today at St. Peter's Old Collegians, and a very professional effort from them. Came away from home to Payneham, who were desperate for a win. They got the job done nicely. They kicked a big score. Could have kicked more, as we mentioned, but overall, I think Mike O'Leary, the coach, will be very happy with that. The performance of his midfield, the way they dominated through there, they probably won the clearances easily. Would have won the inside 50s as well. And yeah, St. Peter's just too good today.
They set the game up through those first 3 quarters. They moved the ball far cleaner, particularly through hand around the contest. Payneham were a little sloppy and couldn't. We're talking about perfect dry weather here as well. No wind to speak of, no wet weather to speak of, and both teams obviously sharing the same conditions. And St. Peter's just played that footy where they could move the ball around the contest a lot more. Obviously, I think admittedly a little bit more of an experienced squad with Payneham with a few key players out as well. But they took the foot off the accelerator in the last quarter as expected and did extremely well.
Yeah, that's Payneham, not the best start of the season for them in 2025. 0-3, as we were talking about a bit earlier. They won the last quarter, as we mentioned. That's a small win for them, but again, they took the foot off the accelerator a little bit. Was the St. Peter's Old Collegians, but overall they have still a good team. They've got a lot of good ins, as we were talking about as well, and just have to wait for them to gel, and then they'll be fine. I'm sure Payneham, they have still a few games coming up they might be able to win, so keep your eye on that. It's going to be an interesting time for the Adelaide Footy League. Of course, there still might be some games going on the Filming Footy YouTube channel, so if you're watching the stream you can check them out. But that's it from me and Lewis here at Payneham Oval. Thanks, Lewis, for joining me.
Yeah, no worries, thank you, and fantastic to get back amongst the footy as well, and looking forward to it next week as well. But thanks, Jad, it's been a fantastic call.
Awesome. Thanks again to all our sponsors and everyone for watching. Stick around to our Facebook page and YouTube channel for the Between the Posts and all the behind-the-scenes insights from all the experts. Thanks again for watching and have a good evening.